whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the hooker force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā kona whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare hare mai, o Taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody, gather up close everybody. Kani move that body, kani move that body.
E ngā whakataitei o whakakake mā tēnā koutou e ngā hui ngā kanohi ora. Tēnā koutou nau mai hoki mai kia Taringa. Anei māua ko Erica, e maunei māua I o māua kakau hou, engari kei te noho kore pohara puaheiri, kare noho kia mau.
Ai, hara te me noho more ana.
Yeah, so we're sporting the black, we got the black limited series.
Yeah, with the neon greens.
Tika,
drip.
Ana. Weno ane mata e mihi atu nei I konei te pokapū o Taringa I ngā manakitanga te wānanga o te roa I te piki, auahi piki taone Pasi Metropolis o te Omutu.
Beep, beep.
Yeah.
Meep, meep.
Nō reira, nau mai hoki mai tātou e hoa mā. Let's get into it, eh? Kīwaha. Pea wai te kīwaha.
Au atu te wā.
Au atu te wā.
Au atu te wā.
Au atu te wā, ku au atu te wā.
Au atu te wā.
Kua au atu te wā. Which means it's been ages.
It's been some time.
It's
Time to.
Kona te reo. It's time to.
Yeah, so that's what it means.
I don't know, is there any other
Yeah.
explanations for it?
Yeah. It's been a minute, as some
Yes,
say.
a long period has passed.
It's been a long period, yeah.
Yes. So koina, ko au atu te wā. So you could say, kia ore hoa, ko au atu te wā. It's been ages.
It's been ages.
Yeah, and you're implying that you haven't seen one another for a long time. Yeah, ko au atu te wā.
Oh, kia ora, e Snow, kua aua atu te wā.
Ko au atu te wā, e hoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, me and bro, you shout at lunch, kua au atu te wā.
It's like, oh man, I'm going to the gym this morning. Oh, kua au atu te wā. Kua au atu te wā.
So, kīwaha pai tērā, and yeah, it's probably on number one.
Yeah, because you didn't use that in isolation, eh?
Ana, standalone kīwaha.
Yeah.
Engari, he wā tōna ka wānanga tātou I te au atu, because you can use it in some other sentences. But
Okay.
I tēnei rā, ko te kua au atu te wā.
Kua aua atu te wā.
Kua
aua atu te wā.
E rima ngā kupu.
E rima ngā kupu.
Aye. And, you know, this is EP 194, so kua aua atu te wā.
Oh my
Kua
gosh.
au atu te wā. Koina. Now, e te iwi, koinei te wāhanga tuarua, so we're back at Tikanga tahi kore tahi, 101, Tikanga 101. Ana I tērā atu te wāhanga tuatai, kōrero rā māua ko Erica, kia koutou, I wānanga rā māua I ngā tikanga o te tapa pepe.
Kia ora.
Tuera wānanga, and yes, the studio was bereft of te puaheiri I tērā rā, but I pai ngā kōrero I rere I tawara.
Although we only scratched the surface, or te kahu o te wai.
Te kahu o te wai. Ka pai,
So much
Erica.
more to still talk about.
Ana. O I tēnei putanga o Taringa, ka huri a tātou kōrero ki te tapa. We're going to talk about naming taonga,
Kia ora.
objects, or taonga, whare and kaupapa.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll see where we go with this one as well.
Yeah.
Like even this morning, what's the name of this EP?
Ana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tika. Hey, we've named it now.
We've named it, and you'll see the name on the link.
Well, I'll share tētahi kōrero, hei tīmatanga. Tērā te wā I riro I au tētahi, me pono ai nāku I hoko. So I bought a mere pounamu.
Kia ora.
And, you know, a lot of people thinking, what, you bought one? And it was really interesting. It was te matatini ki Waiohika Tūranga Nui a Kiwa.
Aye.
And I was honoured to be judging that year. And I was sitting between two learned gentlemen, Wharehuia Milroy and Pau Tēmara. And the judges really got very short windows to have breaks, and we didn't really get out to look at the stalls or anything. And this one, I think it was the second day or the third day, anyway, we got out for half an hour, I think, and there was a tētahi toa hoko pounamu, a guy from Ngaitahu selling pounamu. and I saw this really beautiful mere pounamu.
Or it saw you.
Or it saw me, and that's exactly what happened, because when I went back, but I had reservations about buying it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is it right to buy it? But my whakaaro was I wasn't buying it for myself, I was buying it for the hapu. Anyway, I went back and I sat down, and then wharehuia, that's what he said to me, he said, I ki te koe te aha. I ki te rānei te aha I a koe, was what he said to me. And I said, oh, and then I told him, kei te rangirua, me hoko rānei. And then he went on to, about buying mere pounamu. And I was like, oh, is that right to buy it? And he said, well, money and how we look at buying, our tupuna bought things.
Yeah.
Tika.
That's where the word hoko comes from.
Kia ora.
Or hoko or tau hoko. It was more of an exchange, but what you exchanged equaled the value of what you were acquiring or wanting to acquire. So, for instance, you'd a wakataua, a prized mere pounamu, which had some history and whakapapa, you could hoko for a wakataua.
Or even a wakatangata.
Exactly. So, I was like, oh yeah, ka pai papa. So I bought this mere pounamu. And then I asked Pou if he could karaki it, and he goes, yep, ka pai, bring it to my room early in the morning in wee hours. So he hareta ki tana rūma te rangi whai mai. And then he pātai mai ki au. He goes, tēnā, ko te ha te ingoa tō mere, tō mere pounamu. And I was, he hasn't got a name yet. And he goes, kare pai kia karaki ati au tō mere pounamu, kia ki te ara no tie koe he ingoa. So I thought, okay. So I hoki au kia te wharehuia. And I asked wharehuia to name. And I knew, because I've been there before with him, when you ask him, tētai pātai pērā, and I'm the same. I'm not going to get an answer straight away. And he was like, wai ho mai hei whakaarotanga māku. Leave it to me to think about. And went through that day of judging. And then actually it was the day o te matangi rua. So the top 9. I don't know if it was 9 then.
Was it 9
still
then?
been 6. I'm not sure. Anyway, ka hoki, ka muti tērā, kareta nui ho mai ingoa, and then ka piki māua ki runga ki tō māua praina, and we flew to Wellington, and we flew back ki konei ki Tamahere ki Kirikiri roa nei. And he slept the whole time. Slept on the way to Wellington, he slept from Wellington to Hamilton Airport. And then as we were coming down, as soon as the tyres touched the runway, he opened his eyes and he turned to me and go, ko te ihinga o te rangi. Te ingoa o tō mere pounamu. And then he whakamara mai ai te ingoa o te mere pounamu. And and then we had a wānanga maybe a month later at the pā e Rāwhitiroa. And Pou and Wharehuia were the tohunga of the wānanga, and we went down early in the morning, just us three. It's one of those special moments actually, now I reflect back on it. And and Pou done karakia mo te mere pounamu, whakatōia i te mauri ki roto.
Cool.
Yeah, and so Wharehuia named mere pounamu, and Pou done karakia.
Cool.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
There's a few things in there to unpack, but one is the thought that he put into the name.
Absolutely. There's that, the idea of exchange, because I know a lot of people have reservations about paying for such things. But what you did say is that's what I also believe in too. You're exchanging and you're paying the person or the maker of that for their time and expertise and mātauranga.
Exactly.
Of course, of the equivalent. And so before I quickly move on to the next point is when someone gives you a price of a taonga, I want to shout out to Mana Pounamu and Rakai Jade.
Kia ora, kia ora.
Because they got big prices, but there's a reason why it's priced as such.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so, koutou mā, if you're looking for things and they give you a price, expect to pay that much. Yeah. And there's that. And then also the asking someone for a name, and I can imagine you having some sort of enthusiasm of like sitting there waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when it's
sleeping, ko atu te wā.
Yeah, so.
And I was like following him around, like when we're having our cup of tea breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
Tatari anai kia maringi mai
just being present, just being present. Being present. Like, I got you a cup of tea.
Ana.
Yeah, and so there's those things as well. When you ask for something from someone, you can't expect it to be there and then, because what you ask, the reason why you approach that person is because you respect their mātauranga. And so then that takes time. And so then respect the time that they take to give you a meaningful name. So those are the two things I saw in that kōrero.
Ana.
But I think it was also interesting that Po didn't want to do the karakia until you had the name.
Ana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you know, just e hoki ana ngā whakaro ki a tāua kōrero mo te tapa I te pepe. Yeah, because I think I'm taku whakamauritanga I tērā. It's like when you do a whare, when you whakatō te mauri roto I te whare tupuna, part of that ceremony or ritual is giving the name to the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so e kite ana I ona whakaro.
Yeah. So does that mean like for any taonga, would it be appropriate to name any taonga that's going to be...
Well, he pai tēnei wānanga.
Yeah.
He pai tēnei wānanga.
Yeah. Is it because someone asked for it that you name it? Or is there a need to name everything? And even the idea of coming up with a name, what's the train of thought that goes into naming something?
Well, mo te taonga.
Ai, mo te taonga.
So I've commissioned two pieces, hei tiki. More hei taonga ma karangata mahine.
Kia ora.
And I think that's a bit different to going and getting something in
a shop.
Yeah, even though I got that mere pounamu, but it was the intent, because I think with the mere pounamu...
It was something you didn't know you needed.
Yeah, well then it's like a taonga that's going to be a keepsake mo te iwi, mo te hapu.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit different. And anyway, I commissioned these tiki with the intention to name them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that they would be a connection to some of our past tupuna.
Kia ora.
Of whom I named them for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have a link to my nieces and our whakapapa.
Yeah.
And then my whakaro was that by them having these tiki and the names of these tiki on them, that they're going to learn about those tupuna and those connections that those tiki represent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thought that went into when I named taonga.
Oh,
Yeah.
kia ora. Yeah. Yeah, I've only had that privilege once, and that was getting something commissioned. I got that done for my mother and finding the name for it, and it was of the same thing of a tupuna that, well, one, it was to instill or to exemplify the mana wahine and her whakapapa, and then our iwi, and the whakapapa of our iwi. Yeah, and it was to find that tupuna that embodied the embodiment of that type of mana. Yeah, and so we found the ingoa for it and the kōrero, and now it's an heirloom for the whānau.
Heirloom, te kapu.
Yeah, te manutunga. And so she's the kaitiaki of it. And we said we agreed upon the whānau when there's a special occasion or someone is graduating or something, that they'll be, given the honour to adorn that taonga. And so, and thus upholding the mana or enhancing the mana of that tupuna.
Yeah.
Me whakaronga pi kari kari.
Even kākahu had names.
Yes,
Yeah.
kia ora, yeah.
Like the one, a lot of you would have seen the, I think it's a Lindauer painting of Rewi Manepoto or Manga, and that tōpuni that he's wearing, dogskin cloak, is the name of that is Te Kahu Mamai or Pare Raututu.
Wow.
Yeah, and kei roto I te whare taonga tērā kākahu ki taku mōhio, and there's a whole kōrero of how that kākahu got its name.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I guess like the really sort of valuable thing about naming kākahu or taonga is that kōrero like those stay alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even from the idea that people put on it, once you name something, you personify it, which gives it also its reverence, and you of course you exact the mana of that tupuna that you might name it after, and it gives it, I don't know, makes people respect it more as well. A plain way of saying it,
E tika. E tika. We wairua tō e rā mea. They carry a wairua.
Aye.
And sometimes people are named, like my mother is named after taonga.
Oh, really?
Kia ora.
Yeah. So we had a bit of conversation.
Yep.
So she's named after taonga. But later on, I found out in my rangahau I roto i ngā tuhi ngā kraua that that is actually a name of our tupuna. So the dots I've joined is that probably belonged to that tupuna.
Aye. Yeah.
So she was named after the earring. Yeah.
Ka pai.
Yeah.
Do you know any taonga that take on another name? Because you know how tupuna had, there might be certain events in their life and then they're renamed or they've given another AKA.
Yeah.
Do you know of any other taonga that's happened to them?
Yeah, there's a story in Whanganui, and actually it's about when Ngāpuhi went down. Mm-hmm. And ko wareware au, engari, i taunu te rangatiro te ope o Ngāpuhi i te toa.
Aye.
Te kirikawa o te ope o Whanganui. And said something like, and he had a famed taiaha.
Kia ora.
It was called te waha o te marangai. The mouth of the storm.
The mouth of the storm. Whoa.
And
I love powerful names like that.
Yeah.
And they had a jewel, and te toa no Whanganui took him out.
Yeah.
Didn't kill him, but he wounded him fatally.
Mm-hmm.
And then ka taunu te tangata o Ngāpuhi ai, and said something like, your hands are that of a gardener.
Tika. Ai, ko rangona tēnei koe.
Your hands are that of a gardener because I should be dead. And he said you weren't, something like you weren't worth killing yet. Tai hoa koe.
Yeah.
Because he ended up dying from his wounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, the toa he renamed it Taringa Mahi Kai.
Taringa Mahi Kai, aye.
Yeah. So again, an event.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, tika. That kōrero is still said.
Yeah, Taringa Mahi Kai.
Taringa Mahi Kai, yeah.
He renamed his taiaha.
Yeah, kia ora.
Yeah, so there were those instances where taonga took on another name.
Yeah, and even weaponry, as you said, taonga.
Yeah.
But how people have their names for their weaponry.
And they were famed,
Aye.
Tētahi o nā mō tētea, he waiata tangi engari he taunu nā Ngāti Kahungunu, nā tūhoi a Ngāti Kahungunu, te rongo o te tuna. And we actually have, Ngāti Raukawa have a relationship to that waiata because the person for whom that waiata is for, he died, utu was exacted on him for his participation in the deaths of Ngāti Kahungunu, and he was encouraged by tētai rangatiro Ngāti Raukawa ki te patu I a rātou. So we actually have a relationship with this waiata. But anyway, in the waiata, they recount about 6 names of different mere pounamu that were, they're like Excaliburs.
Yeah. Tika.
Yeah, and they got names like Kauai Hurihia.
Far out.
So turn your, the chin turner.
The chin turner.
Yeah, Kauai Hurihia, Kahawai. Yeah, so e pērā te mana o te oera taonga.
Aye.
He nui nā taonga pērā I roto I te ao Māori.
Aye.
Tatu ati king, even the aurei or autui. So the cloak pins.
Yeah. Yes.
That held kakahu together.
Yeah.
So, a lot of kakahu didn't actually have ties on them.
Yeah.
Some of the older ones. You use a couple of aurei to keep them on.
Yeah.
Even those were revered and literally passed down and named.
Yeah.
When you said kahawai, that just reminded me of something about just like everyday kupu Māori or names for things usually describe what they do. So like a kahawai fish is strong in the water.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of our colours are named like literally for what they are, like a kōwhai.
Yeah.
Is a kōwhai.
Is a kōwhai.
And me te kākāriki. Yeah.
Ana.
Yeah. Pai.
Yeah. E nui nā taonga pērā. E roto I te ao Māori.
And so, would it take the same amount of whakaaro to name, there's a lot of them today naming initiatives and kaupapa. And what I'd probably like to ask you about is when someone puts a big name, or, when does it call for like a big name or the judgment it takes.
Everything is getting
named. Like, it's like, what, when we put out the rubbish, ko te putanga. Ia wenare, ia rua wenare, ko te putanga. You know?
E pai tēnā pātai o me ngā whakaaro ki tērā i te mea, ki te whakaaro tātou ki te wānanga o te roa. You know, and most of the time it's myself and whakarongotai that put the ingoa together. Or sometimes wāhanga o uepu come to us with a suggestion, which is cool as well. And yeah, like the pepe, so when part of our wānanga, when we're talking about naming babies, was can that baby look after that name? Or can the mātua, the whānau, look after the baby to look after that name? And uphold the mana of the name? And that's some of the thought process that happens when I'm naming a kaupapa. Because sometimes it just requires really a direct translation.
Kia ora.
Yeah.
You know, even look at some of our government agencies.
Yes.
And karei te takahi I a rātou. There was a big, you know, when the whori with Oranga Tamariki. And nāku tērā i wero au i tērā. Kei whia te oranga tamariki i te tango, ka tangohia nā tamariki i ngā mātua.
Kei te oranga.
Exactly.
Ka taia rāne koutou te mana o tērā ingoa te hāpai.
Kia ora.
Te oranga tamariki. So you need it's a balance. Because while we want to pirangi tātou ki te whakamana i te reo and you know, whakatairanga i te reo, it gives status and to a kaupapa that we're naming and giving a Māori title or name, at the same time we need to be questioning, are they or the kaupapa going to be able to uphold the mana and deliver
That's a really good point.
on what the name means. Yeah.
And talking about those things, will that name change or will that whole kaupapa change with the political landscape in time? So, you know, it just comes up and then that name is, the stigma is related to it already. So you don't want to use it, but you might have put so much whakaaro in it and be like, oh man, that was such a good name. But, you know, it's lost now.
And even in this day and age, you know, if I can just like, you know, talk about contemporary times, we are already, but even the naming of companies.
Kia ora.
So if you hopped on the company register and had a look at some of the names, you'd be thinking, ki.
Ai.
E tai o ngā ingoa. And I know e tahi o Kuhoa have wanted to name their companies particular things, but the name's been taken.
The name's been taken, yeah.
You know, and, you know, there's all sorts of, you know, ka puta e te raru ki te pērā because the company's already got that name, you know, sort of a thing. But we're thinking, koe tēnei e whakamahi nei te ingoa, and then we see what that company does.
Yeah. He kuaha Māori, engari ko te whare, te katoa te whare Pāke ake nei. Yeah, that's what I see in a few kamupene that have, you know, they want to diversify per se their
so they diversify their ingoa and nothing else.
Yeah, shout outs to Huru by the way in Wellington. Huru, yeah.
I haven't visited them in a while.
Kuaua atu te wā?
Kuaua atu te wā. Actually, I was waiting till I was dropping a couple of sizes because I couldn't fit anything. So maybe I might be able to find a jacket now.
Whakahihi Māori.
But even, you know, hoki mai ki te wānanga o te roa and talking about te wānanga o te roa. I te wā ia rongo.
Kia ora.
That's the names that they decided on. He sought counsel with Te Atairangi Kāhu, Te Ariki Nui Te Atairangi Kāhu. And ko ona whakaro, that name doesn't belong to one iwi.
Kia ora.
True.
And so she called a hui and convened a hui here at O Tāwhao, where Rongo got their counsel and advice and direction. And their pātai to him was, or challenge, or he wero te pātai, what are you going to do? Ki te riro ia koutou tēnei ingoa te wānanga o te aroa, what are you going to do to uphold the mana of that name?
Kia ora.
Wānanga o te aroa. Yeah, so piki hui. Yeah, and you know, e tai atu, we're thinking, oh man, it's a lot of fuss over naming, but ko te mana, ko te wehi, ko te tapu.
Ko te tapu, koe apu.
I ona wara.
I'd love for this kōrero to be out there and, you know, given a 2021 year, because it's important to understand that, and I'm talking for my stance in the organisation about how big that name is and the responsibility that we have in providing holistic educational opportunities throughout the motu for all people, and to be a wānanga, te wānanga o te roa. And what it does too is keep us in check in terms of our, dare I say, cultural legitimacy. You know, your cultural legitimacy. So that what I'm saying is that when you're naming something, what have you got behind the name?
Ana.
As they say, what's in the name? Ana.
Also, like, you know how we've talked about people changing their names throughout certain events. Te Wānanga Aotearoa wasn't actually the original name of this place, was it?
Tika.
Yeah,
Was
that's
it the
right.
fourth, third?
Yeah, it's like the third, I think it was Waipa Kōkiri.
Waipa Kōkiri.
Then it was Aotearoa Institute. Then it was Te Kuratini o ngā waka. Then it was Te Wānanga
Te Wānanga Aotearoa.
Yeah. So e toru anake nā wānanga I raro I te government legislation. Anybody can say they're wānanga, but to get government funding, only 3 wānanga get
Only 3 wānanga,
funding.
Which is
Tātou nui arangi ko Raukawa.
Raukawa, yeah. Which is another political debate, eh?
Yeah. And, you know, it might be time to revisit that.
Tika.
You know, e tahi atu I e pirangi nei ki te whakatui o rātou wānanga. Hoi anō, he wānanga anō.
He wānanga anō. Ai.
He wānanga anō tērā.
What about here within the wānanga? So a lot of our buildings and rooms are named, and in particular, meaning like the hui rooms in the other building there. What I find real interesting about it is that all the hui rooms on the ground floor are named after ground or flightless birds.
That is so cool you picked up on that.
That is so cool.
He mea he whakaritenga, he mea ata mai.
Yeah, so nā paura tērā mahi, ki ora paura. And yeah, so all the ground ones are flightless. And then you've got sort of the big birds on the second floor. Nā manu whai mana, nā manu mātārai, nā manu
hoko hoka.
And then the birds, nā manu ki te taihawauru, those are the seabirds, because they're closer to the coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the whakaro.
See, even little things like that.
That's the whakaro, the whakaro in the rei. Yeah.
Even though it's very mama, because they're named birds, they're after birds, but yeah, there was a lot of thought that went into naming them.
Yeah, don't worry, because we have people running around in the hui and they're like, is that a flightless bird? Or I might have to go upstairs. Does a kiwi fly? Well,
exactly. If I've got a hui and it's scheduled to be in the kiwi room, I'm like, oh, yep, so that's one of the ones on the ground floor.
Yeah, I can be 5 minutes because I don't have to climb stairs.
Yeah. Nā, koina nā whakaro nui te wā e wānanga tiana e tai ingoa.
And you know, going on from that quickly, just what about naming whare these days in comparison to how whare were named in the
like
days
whare
of yore?
as in whare nui?
Whare tupuna, you know, whare motuhake Māori nei.
Well, I can only speak from my experience, and probably one thing to draw everybody's attention to is that traditionally the name wasn't written.
on top of the
well, it's so obvious now, you know, it's, you know, but there are a few whare that don't have their name on them. Everybody just knows. So Mahinarangi,
kia ora.
everyone knows that's Mahinarangi. Poraurangi, there's no name on Poraurangi.
Oh my God, I've like actually never
I think
noticed.
there's no name on Tāne Nui Arangi, Waipapa.
Yeah, so traditionally you didn't put the name up, and
well, you didn't tattoo a baby with on their forehead there.
Yeah, and I ko ngahu ana would have been like 7, 8 around that time. Tētahi o mātou miki, tātou marae, Aotearoa, ko te whare ko Hoturoa. And he never had a name on.
Oh, kia ora.
And it was the people that asked our kaumātua if they could stick a name up, write the name. And they were saying, te tiro ki ngā whakairo, kei roto i ngā whakairo tana ingoa.
Koe tana.
You know, look in the whakairo in the carvings, you'll know that Hoturo is the name of the whare. So there was a big wānanga and deliberations, and in the end, I whakai te kaumātua, and they put the name up, Hoturo, on the whare. Yeah, so koe nā tētahi āhuatanga o tēnā anei, ko te tuhi i te ingoa. Was that last year? We went to open a whare and I wali I āwhina i a ānaha.
Ai.
Noroto mai a te arawa. And we got told the name was this. Super crack up.
Oh, sorry.
So,
koe katau.
Yeah. Ka rewe whakaingoa i te koe te tupuna nei. And it was news to me, but there was a second part of the name of this tupuna. Ka rewe mohio, no reire maharai. Oh, well, must be koe nā te ingoa. And I whakaingoa tia I rere te pātai, and part of the ritual, and we've talked a bit about this because we've done a thing on house openings. Ko te ingoa te whare, and the name was mentioned, and I kitau I tētai o ngā kuia, kari pai. tana kanohi when she heard the name said out loud. And anyway, later on, so they put the name up, and then later on, the second part of the name got rubbed out because I ki te kaumata, and she was the oldest, I think she was in her 90s. I whakaheia, she said, kei te he tērā ingoa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, kei te he tērā wāhanga o tana ingoa. So they took it off.
Okay.
Yeah, now...
Nō reire, how te ingoa I whakahuatia te inga kuia o te marea?
Kaua ko tērā I runga I tuhia I runga I te whare.
Kia ora, ai.
Yeah, ko tērā rā I tuhia I runga I te whare, because that's what everybody had agreed to, but the kuia wasn't a part of those wānanga. About the whare, see?
Yeah.
So that's a little point, to have proper, robust consultation before naming it. Yeah.
And again, you know, whare, some whare, you know, were named after tupuna. Most times, whare are named after tupuna. Engari, they also named after events.
Yep.
So, tētahi o ngā whare o Te Rauparaha, after his, all his children were slaughtered.
Oh, wow.
When they, and this is koine oku whakaro, this is really what set him hell-bent on exterminating the peoples of ana kamiti kaua te pāma mai engari muau poko mērā iwi.
Okay.
And his children were killed. Anyway, he named his whare Te Umuki Ohau.
Oh, wow.
Saying the oven at Ohau. Now, Ohau was the area where the treachery happened. And the children were killed. So that's what he named his whare, to remind them and to, I guess, stoke the fires of revenge in the valleys and keep them burning. So that's what he named his house. Te Umuki Ohau. Down around Livin.
Okay.
Ana.
Oh my gosh.
Another quick question, you know, say you set out to put together whare tupuna, and say you have the name prior to say, and everyone agrees, right, this tupuna whare will be named this. Can you refer to it as that whilst it's being built, or is it best to...
Ooh, patai pai tērā.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm going to work on...
Ki au nei kao, I te mea kare anō te Māori kia whakatō ki roto I te whare.
Tika.
Yeah, so ki au nei kao.
Kia ora. Ka pai.
Yeah, but that's a very good question.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you know, te ingo, te whare, the whakairo and the kōwhaiwhai and all the embellishments, ngā whakaniko-niko, ngā whakanako-noko. E whare ai te whare, they make it a whare.
Yeah.
They all have a relationship to the name of the whare.
What about if, because a lot of whare have changed names as they go, so what if you embellish it some more and then people decide, renovate it, and then people decide, actually that name doesn't suit it anymore. Now,
Well,
I pērā I konei?
Kei te iwi te hapura ana I te mana.
Tika.
Nei whakaro. Yeah. It's a bit different, but like Mahinarangi was originally built to be a hospital.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tika.
Hey, tētai atu whare nā te wānanga I whakatū, and it was at our campus in Westbrook, Taiwere campus. And the wānanga, we were actually leasing the building off the Aotearoa Institute.
Kia ora, yeah.
Anyway, kei putakatona tai pito-pito o tērā kōrero, we didn't end up buying the building for various reasons. And the whare nui that was there got dismantled.
Oh.
Yeah, so the name got taken off and all the whakairo, the pare, everything got taken off the whare. Kaue pātai mai kei whiau a whakairo me rā, ko whaiwhai, the heke, everything. So it was just a shell. Anyway, I muri mai, I think I saw Māori o reira hui, and he goes, hey, what happened to that whare? And I said, aua,
Do you have,
harai au, tērā mahi.
this is going into another kōrero, but at the dismantle of whare, do you have to have some sort of unnaming karakia?
Whakamoi.
Yeah, whakamoi te whare,
Yeah.
tango I te Māori.
Tango I te Māori,
Yeah, tangohia te Māori o te whare. Even if you're building a new whare, you take the Māori from the old whare.
Yeah.
So tangohia te Māori I te tuatahi.
A new whare that's going to be named the same.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
I know
tangohia
of,
te Māori, and then you dismantle the whare, and then build a new one, and then ka whakatoa no te Māori ki roto.
Okay.
And I know tētai kōrero, he pērā rawa te kaha o te ngā whakaro o te hapu ki te tapu o te whare.
Kia ora.
They are very strict. And the Māori was actually put in an object, but the whānau that knew where the Māori was in the house, because it was buried under a particular pou, they hadn't kept the kōrero alive. And the tohunga said, we can't start on this whare until we find
this Māori.
The Māori.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the whare.
Yeah. We have kōrero like that, and even burying whole whare. Dismantling it, burying it, and then putting a new whare up above it.
On top of it?
Yeah. And there was even, there's a whare up in the Hokianga where I mate tētahi pēpi, and he was put down under the whare and put with the Māori as well.
And even waka, like ia e whakaronga na ki a koe, ka whakaro ki a heana kōrero mō matawhaurua, ngā toki matawhaurua.
Wai, mena te kōrero i whakamoe i roto i tētahi ana. Kōrero hoki te wāhi ka whakairia ngā tūpāpaku rangatira. Koina etahi kōrero.
And Tainu is buried at Makitu.
Well, I was talking about ngā toki matawhaurua and matawhaurua, or matahaurua, and toki matawhaurua was the second.
Oh, the renaming.
Yeah, the renaming of the waka.
Kupe, taimaya kupe, ki runga i tōna waka ko matawhaurua, i tōna hoki ngātu ki Hawaii, i ko haina te waka kia nuku tawhiti ki tāna mokopuna, and nāna i whauwhau anō, i te waka kia haurua, kia pai ai anō i tāna rere i runga i te wai, nā reira i ngā toki matawhaurua ai. So the re-edzing of matawhaurua. That was the renaming, yeah. That's another one.
Yeah, wasn't Mātāts also known as Waimihia?
Kia ora.
Motaku waka mō Waimihia.
Nah, wasn't that a pedal? Wasn't that a hoi?
Aua.
Te kōrero mō te aroa.
It's the perspective, it's the kōrero closest to your heart.
True.
The version.
Yeah.
But yeah, wasn't Te Aroa named something else?
Yeah, ngā rākau mātaipu atua matua. Yeah.
Oh, atua matua. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the various names that supposedly Kurahopo took on. Or they say that Aotea was named this and then it was named something else.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even Aotearoa.
Aotearoa, kia ora.
You've got Haha te whenua, Hawaii ki tautau.
Kia ora.
Tiritiri matangi.
Tiritiri matangi, te ika Māui.
Te ika Māui,
Yeah.
te Waipounamu, then Aotearoa. And then even i roto e tahi o ngā tuhinga, they refer to it as Aotea.
Kia ai, tika.
Even New Tirini.
And then, yeah, Gad.
New Zealandia. New Zealandia. Yeah.
Ai, kanui pētera.
Kanui pētera.
Yeah, nō reira, he pai tēnei wānanga. Ai, he rawe
What's in a
tēnei
name?
wānanga. What's in the name? Whakaro anō e homa?
I still feel like there's still so much to talk about.
There is.
But I think there's a lot.
Ako nei pe he teringa e mea tuatori.
E mea tuatori, yeah. But the take-home is always the amount of consideration one must take. You know, if you're taking on some Māori, some identity, you need to do your due diligence towards the consideration or the thinking behind it instead of just plastering a name over something.
Ana.
Yeah, that's the take-home for me. Yeah.
Tika tai. You know, we've had wānanga about, so at te wānanga Aotearoa we have karakia.
Kia ora.
There's karakia in the morning, which is now at 8:45. And, you know, there's been some whakaro, let's change the name because it might change. More people might come because it's not called karakia.
What?
Just name it to Pānui?
My thinking is, well, really, it's the culture.
Kia ora.
Te ahurea.
Tika tau.
Yeah.
To name something is to sort of like, well, to rename something because there's not enough foot traffic.
To make it more appealing.
Yeah. There's some things that shouldn't move. You know, koina oku whakaro.
Ai. Ka mata pēi tērā e hoa ma. Ka huri ki te waiata o te wiki hei tautoko i ngā kōrero kua puta. Anei te waiata nā ngā tūmanako te marae tapu o Raupi. Whakarongo mai.
Hea o te rangi ka uia ki runga i te uru tapu atane. Tērā te peki, tērā te waiari,
Kani move that body.
Kua aua atu te wā, kāre I rongo I tētai waiata, pērā rawa te rōreka.
Te rōreka, hara mai.
Ai, wā, he rōreka te waiata, he rōreka ngā reo. He
Ai,
ke rānei
ai.
te mea e rōreka. Wai rai rawe te waiata.
Ai.
Engari,
Yeah.
you know, coining on what Uncle Baba Nanti Nensi at 92, nā roa here, doesn't matter what you write, your compositions will never reach the heights if you don't have a group to sing them.
Kia ora. Tika tau.
Yeah.
Tika tāna.
And e pēnā noa Taringa. Taringa will not reach its heights if we don't have anybody
Listening.
listening.
Ai.
Yeah.
Nō reira, e whakahoki nei ngā mihi kia koutai ngā I Taringa. Kāro whakamuti ngā e hoa ma?
How do you name your kapahaka group?
Actually, that
Yeah,
we might need to have
Yeah. Hei raurangi. Hei raurangi
Yeah.
wānanga ai tō
maybe not
whakikira.
a full Taringa, but maybe just, yeah.
Might chop that. That might be a patapatai.
Yeah, tika.
I know.
Rawe ngā kōrero, as usual.
And rawe hoki ngā kākau.
Ai.
Yeah.
Yeah, hoi anō e mihi nei kia koutou katoa e te iwi, kua keiwhea koe kia mauri tau, whakaaro pai, kia ngā kaumahaki. Hei kona maira.
Hei kona.
Hei kona.
Bit whakaronga pi kari kari. Gather up close everybody buddy. Taringa. Yeah, tahuri mai ki yo. Whakarongo ki te tangi a te kori mako. Kōrero flowing at the hook force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds. Kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā kona whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira. Whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare mai, o Taringa hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani move that body. Kani move that body.
Taringa, he mea tuku nā te wānanga o Aotearoa, nā te māngai pāho I tautoko. To listen to more episodes, search for us on your podcast app and subscribe. Taringa, whakarongo mai.